Hey, somebody needs to use Auto-Tune on me. You have? Excellent. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You are listening to the Professional Noticer. Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Andrews. Hey, thank you for making me a part of your week. My purpose here today, and with every show we do, is to play the part of a best friend or a coach. I want to help you live the life of your wildest dreams by giving you access to the greatest mentors the world has to offer today. The Professional Noticer sponsored this week by our friends at Tucker ATV. You know, the sheer variety of the power sport products at Tucker ATV will blow your mind. Hustler turf equipment, the entire line of Echo power tools, and of course Tucker ATV carries every make and model of Polaris ATVs, every single one of them. You know, you really ought to come see the indoors showroom. I say indoor showroom because they have an outdoor showroom too. But the indoor showroom has taxidermy, antique displays, and an indoor porch with a porch swing, comfortable chairs, television, and free coffee. So stop in and meet Shannon and Lisa Tucker. They treat customers like family, which is why folks from 14 states have done business with Tucker ATV. Highway 43 North in Jackson, Alabama. Tucker ATV, the small town business with the national reputation. All right, observations and answers are what we do here. And this week, for the second week, we have part 2 of the best of our musical guest. I think you're going to love this. And when you have a range of guests like Bill Gaither to Ted Nugent, you know you're covering the musical spectrum. So enjoy this week's episode, part 2 of our very best, our favorite musical guest. If you had to choose a song that you're most, I don't know, what's a song you're most proud of, or a song that you feel like you were put on this earth to write?
Yeah.
Do you think in terms of that?
Yeah. That's a good question rather than what's your favorite one, because they're all your little babies.
Sure.
And some of the little babies are prettier than the other little babies. But I think I'm pretty proud of His Love Went On Reaching. His love went on longing, reaching right past the shackles of my mind. I like that one. And then I like, because I think it's honest, at least for me, I believe. Help thou my unbelief. I take the finite risk of trusting like a child. I believe. Help thou my unbelief. I walk into the unknown, trusting all the while. Here's a Gloria lyric and a Bill music. I long so much to feel the warmth that others seem to know. You ever feel like you're on the outside looking in?
Yeah.
But should I never feel a thing, I claim him even so. I believe. Help thou my unbelief. I walk into the unknown, trusting.
Wow.
I'm pretty proud. I'm pretty proud of that, because I think the doubters get kicked around a lot in the kingdom of God, you know.
Sure.
But Jesus didn't kick Thomas out. He said, there's a place for you, Thomas. Come on, you know. And there are times, and it's all scripture, I believe, help thou my unbelief. To me, one of the best songs of the last century, gospel songs of the last century, was written by Ira Stampfield, not by Bill and Gloria Gaither. And it basically, I think, helps the doubter, saying, many things about tomorrow I don't seem to understand, but I know who holds tomorrow. I love that. And I know who holds my hand. I love the guy who says, I don't have it all figured out, but I just know I'm in good hands. You know, Allstate says you're in good hands with Allstate. Well, maybe so in insurance. I'm not going to knock it one way, but the real good hands the eternal good hands, are the hands of Jesus. And I just loved Ira was a pastor, was Assembly of God pastor down in Dallas. What a sweet, sweet man. Many things about tomorrow I don't seem to understand. Does that apply today? You're talking about our songs that I am proud of. Here's a fun tune. I just feel like something good is about to happen. I just feel like something good is on its way. What's the next one, Brianna? He has promised that he'd open all of heaven. And brother, it could happen any day when God's people humble themselves and call on Jesus. And expecting as they pray, I just feel like something good is about, Jesse goes, I just feel like something good is about to happen. And brother, it could be this very day. There was a verse in that we wrote back in the 70s, or I think I wrote this one.
Yeah.
Like Gloria's had her time, so I'm bragging this one. I've noticed all the bad news in the paper. It seems like things are bleaker every day. Oh, but for the child of God, it makes no difference because things are going to get better. Either way, I've never been more thrilled about tomorrow. Sunshine's always breaking through the clouds of gray. I just feel like something good is about to happen. And brother, this could be that very day. I like that one. So when you say, what's your favorite, it just depends on what day. One day it could be, I believe, and the other day it could be a song of optimism like that. So
the Gaither Vocal Band needs to do that one again.
I thought you'd never ask that question. On our brand new CD, if you've enjoyed this brief television presentation, you're going to love the new full-length home video of the Gaither Vocal Band.
It's amazing to me to be in cities and see these young singers and pop stars and people that I remember seeing you with Paul Simon one time and thinking, everybody thinks Paul Simon is a big deal. Okay, so who does Paul Simon think a big deal is? Paul Simon thinks Bill Gaither is a big deal.
You know what? He came out to we did the concert at Carnegie Hall, and he'd always used Jesse Dixon's singers, his black gospel group from Chicago, as backup. And he loved Jesse, and Jesse introduced me to Paul. Paul asked me an interesting question. He was backstage. He said, how in the world do you get all of those singers who are stars in their own right doing what they're doing, just out there singing backup for whoever's up there doing it? I said, I don't know that it's done on purpose. It's just, if you love people, you want to see them win. I think there are several keys here. I think number one, I really think you need to learn to laugh at yourself and not take yourself too seriously. Because if you do that, you're just going to beat the other person. Whatever good things ever happen to me, it's I'm not the most gifted keyboard player in the world. Ben Spear one time said to me, he said, Bill, I've never heard anybody play as long as you have played and improve as little as you have improved. and so with all of our musicians, that's a big joke. So let me fast forward ahead. He said that back in those days, back in the 90s when we were doing all of those tracks for the homecoming videos. Ben died about 5 or 6 years ago, I think. And in his last year or so, he had Alzheimer's. And so Gene McDowell and I would go out to see him. And towards the end, he would acknowledge you. I came in one day and he was there with his wife eating a little bit of spaghetti. He was always a slow eater, did a little dab of spaghetti with some marinara or so. So I think he was doing about one noodle at a time. And so she said, Bill and Ben are here. And he's so sweet and kind. He looked up with those kind spear eyes and he went, but he didn't say anything. So we tried to engage him and talk with him. And he would just look and smile, take another bite, real slowly take another bite. And we tried to say, remember the time we were in somewhere? And he go, wouldn't nod his head, wouldn't, just took another bite, took another bite. So I thought maybe, just maybe, if I'd go into the piano and play an old song that his daddy wrote, an old convention tune, that might, you know, stimulate his memory. So I went and did this. God's amazing grace sent down from heaven, rescued me from sin and from strife. It's the old song, I am his and he is mine, mine and I his forever. I'm messing up the song. So I played a little bit of it, and it came back to see if he had recognized the song. And I came back in and I said, would you still hire me, Ben? And he looked up and said, no. And the only thing he said in the 30 minutes we were there, no, I wouldn't hire you again. And I said, yes, we are still friends. So friends, whoever listening, don't take yourself too seriously. There's always a keyboard player better than you are. There's always a singer better than you are. There's always a talker, a writer better than you are. It doesn't make any difference. We're a part of a beautiful body, and it takes it all to make it work.
I kind of know the songs that have been the most successful for you, but what has been your favorite song that you've written? What is, like, you know, my books, my favorite book that I've written is Heartmender, and it's nowhere near the top in sales. Maybe that'll change when this movie comes out about it. But,
right.
But for a long time, it's nowhere near the top. A lot of people don't even know I've written it. And yeah, it's my favorite thing. What have you written that is your favorite? Maybe it is your best-selling, but...
Yeah, I don't think so. It's probably a song like you've heard a song that I wrote called The Devil Led Me to Jesus. Still today, probably my favorite song that hasn't, and it has been recorded. You know, but it's probably my favorite song. You know, it's just one that I really spent a lot of time crafting, and it's...
Well, that song it's in my top 3, and I don't even know what the other 2 would be. But it's Austin's favorite song of all time. You know, Austin said, you know, he's told me a bunch of times that this is the best song that's ever been written. And do you mind doing that? Can
sure,
you do that?
Sure, I can do that.
I would love for everybody to hear this. And as you said, this song has not been recorded.
It hasn't.
And so, and you're holding on to this one, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I'm I've been working on a project for quite some time, and I just want it to be what I want it to be. So that being said, this is one that I definitely, I want to do it. It's so true to me. It's so true kind of to my story. You know, I've had some kind of a wild up and down life, and I've learned a lot of what I know is because I learned what not to do. And but I was thinking one day how a lot of the good stuff in my life has seemed to come from the lessons learned from some of the bad stuff, that self-inflicted wounds often. But and so I thought, man, it'd be neat to write one called "The Devil Led Me to Jesus." So. I know what the devil looks like. He's one more shot of bourbon after midnight. He's a red dress that don't know right from wrong. And he's a bad choice dancing with a song. I know where the devil likes to walk, on hot coals down dingy hotel halls, and memory lanes to dig up what you did wrong. That's where the devil likes to walk. I guess you could call him a prophet, 'cause he'll show you all your sins, and he'll scare you straight as whiskey if you get too close to him. But sometimes you find the light running from your demons. That's how the devil led me to Jesus. I know why the devil never sleeps, 'cause he loves to talk you right out of your dreams. But he probably should have left well enough alone, while that Bible on the dresser was still closed. And I guess you could call him a prophet, 'cause he'll show you all your sins. He's a beautiful fire till the pain starts setting in. Yeah, sometimes you find the light running from your demons. And that's how the devil led me to Jesus. I had nowhere left to turn, so I really had no choice but to fall down on my knees and cry out to the Lord. Yeah, sometimes you find the light running from your demons. I had to put a whole lot of distance in between us. That's how the devil led me to Jesus.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow, what a great song. What a great song.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, that's when you do release that one is just it's gonna take over, I just think.
Well, yeah, it'll be fun to have something that's representative of my life. It's a joy, it's a blessing to be able to write a song like that and be able to sing that to people, and it be a true story, something that you can really feel. You know, I don't feel anything as powerfully as I do when I'm singing a song that I wrote that means as much as that song does.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm curious. I got two ways I want to ask you about these songs. One is, what song have you written that you feel like the artist really took it to a great level, that you were really pleased with what the artist did? And then, what song have you written that it was done well, but you were just disappointed in its performance in the marketplace, maybe?
Yeah. I can tell you the second one first, and the one that a disappointment perhaps in the marketplace, and that would be a song called "Cold Beer Conversations."
Okay. That was George Strait.
That was George Strait, and it's the last single that did anything for George. You know, radio and the record label and everybody involved wanted to make sure he got 60 number ones by 60 years old. Once he got his 60th number one at 60 years old, they cut him loose.
They were off the train.
They were off of it.
That's just awful.
It's awful. And so, unfortunately, you know, so when it came out, they just weren't, they were done. And then the song still today, I hear it, and it kind of breaks my heart. Now, it got to like 22.
Do you mind doing that song?
I don't think I remember it.
Yeah, oh, come on.
I don't think
Seriously?
I do. I really don't.
Do just a little bit of it.
I can try, but I won't remember it.
Do just a little bit of it.
Oh, wow. Look at that. I just prayed for a pick and right across the table.
Right across.
Let's see. I don't remember it. You ever feel... So it's about two guys in a bar just talking about life over a beer, cold beer conversations. You ever feel like you're standing in glue, going nowhere? Yeah, buddy, me too. Busting your butt just trying to get ahead, wind up tasting a little dust instead. Buddy, I swear that pretty thing of mine don't ask for much, but I'd be lying if I said I Didn't want to give her everything that shines. Cold beer, conversations, couple old boys, little time well wasted. Trying to figure out life, trying to figure out girls, trying to find a way in this crazy old world. A little truth, a little frustration, cold beer, conversation.
That is awesome.
Oh, and he sung it so well, and it was such a great cut. And you know, he came to town when he released that record, and we knew it was going to be the first single. He came to town.
He named the album that.
He named the album that. Came to town and was at a studio and invited the songwriters to come hang with him. And not just hang with him. I mean, it was an amazing thing what he did. He sat in the studio, and each writer of each song, he would have them come into the studio, close the door with just the writers and just him. He would play the song, and then he would ask questions about how they wrote it. And really, it was amazing. And so I got to do that with George Strait. I went in the room, closed the door, didn't have to tell him my name. Jimmy, good to see you, sir. Love this song so much. Can't believe I got it. Was just as humble and amazing. And he asked the engineer to play it, and they started it. We listened to it together. And then he asked me, okay, so tell me, man, where did you come up with this song?
I hope somebody videoed that.
Well, no, I have a picture of it. Yeah, that would have been amazing to have gotten a video. But yeah, I mean, are you kidding me? I was having just a wonderful, incredible conversation about cold beer conversation. So it brought, but again, got to like 22, but after 60 number ones, yeah, you finally get one and radio just goes. But there you go. I love that song.
I love that song too.
Yeah, and the one that I was, they're all, when people say, hey, what's the one that you love the most? They really it's wonderful. Why Wait was an amazing cut. But I think they're all wonderful because when somebody cuts your song,
babies,
they're your babies. But when somebody cuts it, you don't know. You got to think. I've written thousands of songs, and every year probably a successful songwriter in Nashville is aspiring to get around 8 to 10 cuts, and hoping that one of those will be a major single. When you think of the number of songs that I write in a year, probably 100 at least. Plus 150 sometimes, and to have 5 to 10 cuts, and so you could record a song and put it out on Warner Brothers, and I would be jumping up and down. It's just
yeah.
When a major artist,
my Warner Brothers record would be like Ed and Frank Warner, they're from Foley, Alabama.
Right. But yeah, you're just grateful when a major artist records your record, your song, because there's so many songs. That being said, songwriters are a lot less today than they were years ago. There's just a couple hundred of us that are kind of crafting these songs for these artists. So,
you have written some absolutely beautiful, serious songs.
Is this a segue? Is this a segue?
Kind of. Yeah, this could be. Yeah, because you've written some beautiful, serious songs. There's one song that I'm not gonna have you do this when we say this for another time, but there's one that I always thought that Randy Travis should have done. The one about the box with the pictures.
The old tin box.
The old tin box. Oh my God, what a great song! Yeah. But then there was a point, and we're gonna do that sometime because I really want to do that sometime. Yeah. But there was a point that you started making a turn, and the songs and I, in my mind, even though you'd already had Cheaper Crude, No More Food, you'd already had I don't know, for some reason the song you did about you living at the beach and Jimmy Buffett flying in his jet, somehow that was a sea change to me. That was a mark.
It was.
Because it was like done so tongue-in-cheek, and I just thought it was put together so beautifully that every time I hear that song to this day, I imagine Jimmy Buffett hearing that song and just laughing like crazy just because he's going, yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
So,
well, he knows who I am, so I think he probably knows that. I'm pretty sure he knows that song too.
I know you and his sister are big buddies.
Well, we're friends. You know, she's been my boss for 15 years. She's a great lady. She really is. I mean, that is a great organization. They treat their people.
You say she's a boss. Brent plays at.
Well, I call her boss. That's right.
Yeah.
She had a birthday recently. I just said, happy birthday, boss. I always call her boss lady, you know, because she is. And I don't mind. She's a great boss.
She is great, yeah.
The whole organization, they treat me so well. And they treat their help. For the restaurant business is not always a business that treats their help well. They treat their people with respect.
Right.
You know, and I like that. I like that a lot.
Do you mind doing that song?
No, not at all. You know, it was a kind of turning point. That whole CD, somewhere in the early 80s, I realized that I thought I was going to be a serious artist. All my PR pictures are real serious-minded, like I want to be a stud.
Looking into
looking like I'm tough, macho. I want to be. But then I realized what I'm best at is humor and tongue-in-cheek stuff. You know,
Right.
and I somewhere in the 80s I embraced that, and when I did, things got better.
Now this stuff is all on CDs, and how can people reach you? Let's hit that first real quick.
8 tracks are available through snail mail.
Yeah.
Just send me a check, self-addressed stamped envelope.
You get that 8-track right out to
That's
you.
right. They can go to iTunes or CD Baby or BrentBurns.com.
Okay.
And they pick up my stuff they like. And
Okay.
we have hats and T-shirts and all stuff. So it's, you know, if they'd like. We'd like to sell them something, you know. Okay, this is from 1998 from my CD entitled "Living the Life Jimmy Buffett Only Wrote About." This song is called "Living the Life Jimmy Buffett Only Wrote About." It's the title cut for the slow folks out there. Okay. Anyway, I want to whistle here. I hope it's not too ugly. Buffett's on Broadway, I'm at the beach. He's wearing Johnston Murphys, I'm in my bare feet. He's rolling in the dough while I roll in the sand. Picking my 6-string in a funky little band. I'm living a life Jimmy Buffett only wrote about. Let him count the money, I'll go ahead and live his life out. He'll have to live vicariously through a beer-drinking ordinary guy like me. I'm living a life Jimmy Buffett wrote about. He's flying his airplane, I'm driving my van. Living with a waitress and working on my tan. He's up with the big dogs making a deal. I'm down here in the real Margaritaville, just living a life Jimmy Buffett only wrote about. Let him count the money, I'll go ahead and live his life out. He'll have to live vicariously through a beer-drinking ordinary guy like me. I'm living a life Jimmy Buffett wrote about. He's in the boardroom while I'm in a bar room. He's dealing with stress. I'll be feeling better soon, real damn soon, 'cause I'm living a life Jimmy Buffett only wrote about. Let him count the money, I'll go ahead and live his life out. He'll have to live vicariously through a beer-drinking ordinary guy like me. I'm living a life Jimmy Buffett wrote about. Yeah, it's true, so true. I'm living a life Jimmy Buffett wrote about.
Wow.
I thought I had.
That's your phone now.
I thought I had left it in the car.
No, you know, that is awesome song.
Thank you.
It's just an awesome. I think I'm most impressed that you can pick up that whistle right away. I am fascinated by this song because this is your song that is most loved and most hated. The Snowbird song. Because I think that the snowbirds, and the whole song is poking fun at if you're not from a resort town, you may not totally get this. Or let's put it this way: you'll get it. You just can't appreciate it
until you lived it.
Until you have lived it. Okay. I was talking to Adam today. Adam this morning, coming in, and I said, buddy, in fact, I told Adam, I said, Brent's gonna be here with me today, and I said, I'm sure we're gonna talk about snowbirds, and he said, man, they just drive me crazy. They drive me crazy. I said, buddy, you're too young to have anybody drive you crazy. I said, and the tragedy that happens with some of them. He said, what tragedy? I said, well, every year here, they come down and 4 or 5 of them die in their cars, like right in the middle of the road. And he said, really? I said, yeah, they don't hit anything or anything, just the kudzu gets them.
Because they're going,
they're going so slow. The kudzu just grows around them.
Yeah, that's right.
But we all talk about, oh my gosh, because we all have the stories of them, and that's the time of the year around here that they don't put the salt and pepper on the table. They don't put the sugar things on the table. You have to ask for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to say that snowbirds drive slow, but if you're driving around Gulf Shores, Orange Beach in February and a car from Michigan passes you, it's stolen. I'm just saying.
You can be sure.
But they actually do a lot of great things for our community while they're down here. While they're down here, January, February, March, they do a lot of great things for our community. Can't think of one right now. Wait. I thought of one.
Okay.
While they're here, it's a much safer community because we don't have any, and I mean any high-speed accidents. So it's safer on the roads, and it's also a more intelligent community because we're from Alabama. And not many of us locals can figure a 3% tip in our head like
your head
so,
like that.
So,
I'm telling you, it's people think I'm lying. That signs go up in restaurant bathrooms, don't take the toilet paper.
Yeah,
people think I'm lying. And talk to Benny at Publix about people literally in March when they go home bringing canned goods back to the store and trying to return them.
Yeah. Well, what Bill White always says, what he can't believe about it is I insult them. I don't just sing that song. I insult them all night long about
they love
about their age and they're kleptomaniacs and they come in and they buy my dang CDs. It's the craziest thing in the world. You insult them constantly. But then I'd say, how many of those people from Michigan have told jokes about people from Alabama and no teeth joke? They have been picking on Southerners forever, right? Have they not?
Right.
If you don't believe me, watch the Jerry Springer show.
Right. So, but it is hilarious because you go after them and they just think it is just the greatest thing. You call them kleptomaniacs because they take all the the sauces off the table and.
Now I draw the real good natured ones. There are all those guys that come.
There are some mean ones that don't like that
song.
They
play golf with guys that said, "Yeah, he thinks he's so dang funny. He's not funny to me. It's not." They just get insulted. The guys that hate me, they tell me, "I got to play golf with the guy. He hates you." I go, "Well, tell him I said thanks." He said, "What do you mean?" Well, the song wouldn't be funny without him. He's he's the one the song's about. That's why it's funny.
Yeah,
because of those odd, cranky old people that call themselves snowbirds.
That's exactly right. Okay, sing the song.
All right,
sing the song.
All right. A little rusty here. And a 1 and a 2. Migration every year, the birds head south. They're flocking down the freeways. Even now, they really think they're flying down the road. 40 miles an hour in a 60 zone. So if it's snowbird season, why can't we shoot them? Pull! Tag them and bag them and ship them back overnight air. So take your big car and your attitude and your wife's blue hair. Don't tell me how you do it up north, 'cause we don't care. Hit me, band. And a 1 and a 2. This is where the snowbirds start to polka around the dance floor. Here we go. They cut in line at the grocery store and I go a little nuts. My favorite seat at church is where they sit their butts. Well, I think I'm going crazy and I might crack. Well, I could go postal anytime. Someone hold me back. If it's snowbird season, why can't we shoot 'em? Pull, tag 'em in, bag 'em in, ship 'em back overnight air. So take your big car and your attitude and your wife's blue hair. And don't tell me how you do it up north, 'cause we don't care. You know, some of my best friends are snowbirds, it's true. If you're offended by my little song, this song's about you. If it's snowbird season, why can't we shoot 'em? Pull, tag 'em in, bag 'em in, ship 'em back overnight air. So take your big car and your attitude and your wife's blue hair. Don't tell me how you do it up north, 'cause we don't care. Yeah, don't tell us how you do it up north, 'cause we don't care.
Man, how great. And you know, for people who are going to come down, you come down here, you got to find Brent. And there is nothing like being in a crowd of people. I remember being at the Shrimp Festival and you have like 5,000 or 10,000 people around you and everybody going, so take your your attitude and your wife's blue hair. I mean, the whole crowd singing the song. So people love Brent and I'm one of those people. Thank you, buddy.
I love him back.
Well, I love music, Andy. I was born in Detroit, the epicenter of work ethic. When I was born in 1948, it was known as the Arsenal of Democracy. What better title could a region have than destroying the evil Japanese Empire and the Nazis? And that was the GIs. And it was Detroit making howitzers and bombers. And that work ethic drove my life and my sisters, my brother, and now my children, my grandchildren, everybody in my life, my band, my crew. So here I am in 2022, and that music pulse, that spirit of those funk brothers, the gods of music, and Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley, Little Richard, the inventors of the greatest defiant music in the world, in between sitting in a tree trying to kill a deer and building a duck blind and setting traps and catching fur bearers and training my dogs and vacuuming, that I am so pure when I'm done with these earthly activities that when I pick up the guitar, I'm like the 12-year-old horny Ted in the garage with his first amplifier. It's you need to find a purification in your life. And if you pursue it with everything God gave you, the great Indian chief from the Crow Nation said, God has already given us everything we need. We need to find it. We need to appreciate it and put it to use. So in fact, I don't know what it sounds like technically speaking, but here's one of the Birdlands that this is a special guitar. But listen to this lick. Nobody else plays like that. You gotta gut your own deer. When I play music, I'm primal. I still got some blood and guts in my fingernails. Nobody else plays like that.
No, you're right. It's so subtle. It's just, you know, I am blown away. I remember the day that I came into Matt's office over here, and Matt and Little M were huddled in there, and they looked up at me. When I came in, they looked up at me like, oh, here, wait, we don't know if we want you here or not. And I was like, what's going on? And they said, well, we're listening to something and we want you to listen to it. And I'm like, okay. And so they put on The Buck Stops Here. And after about 15 seconds of it, my jaw dropped. I was like, who is this? And they said, it's these two guys from California. And so we listened to that one. And obviously, you know, we got in touch with you guys right away. But I got to tell you, you know, the heartbeat on The Decided Heart, that if we listened, you know, every time one would come in, we would all gather in Matt's office, in Matt's control room, and we would all, everybody in the office, we would all get together and all listen to it. And when the heartbeat started, we were just like, everybody catching everybody's eyes, just like, oh my gosh, it was, and the other one that really just amazed us was the Today I Will Choose to Be Happy, and the laugh at the first of it. I just love that laugh.
But let me tell you something, Andy, on that one. Armon when he was going back and forth, he was struggling with the laugh. He's like, I don't think we should, I don't know, redo it. Should I leave it in there? I said, it's organic, man. I said, it's this what this song's about. That's why I made the beat like I told. We're gonna make the beat like we're on a cruise ship, just having fun. you know what I mean? Happy, and then I put the little kids in it because you want it covers everybody. That's what it comes down to. So after he heard like little tweaks and stuff, he's like, okay, we're gonna leave it. I'm like, yeah, we gotta leave it. Even I think when you said the 7 seconds where you laughed, the little breakdown, all that. I
had to laugh for 7 seconds because it's such an impactful piece to the words, because it's an exercise everybody should do. It's laugh, for 7 seconds. It really does something to you, and especially with these beats, Al would not turn on any, he felt strong about a lot of these music he would send me. And he was like, you're going to put this to that. You're going to put this to this beat right here. I was like, oh, okay. And I did this one. So at some point I couldn't keep up with him on the music he was producing. I still can't keep up with him. So he was like, here, I sent you 3, put music, put this one to that one, put this one to that one, put that. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm on it. So, Al will always out hustle me to this very day. So I'm honestly always trying to keep up with him. So after me sending the first vocal and the second vocal, he was 3 songs ahead of me that I had to finish. And honestly, the I Would Choose to Be Happy was kind of like our last one because it was one I felt that there's a place we all need to be, and that is happy. These other ones were want to wrench at your heart or give you some type of motivation. But when it came to I Would Choose to Be Happy, it was literally our last one we did. And it was like, okay, let's give it a shot, because it was like, okay, how do you put laughter through, how do you put joy through this? If we've been so, kind of like into, I don't know the words I'm looking for on that one, but when he came with the music, it lightened me up and I was like, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. And especially with that little kid laugh. I mean, who can't laugh at a kid laughter? So Al made it very easy for me to hurdle that wall.
Yeah. Today, I will choose to be happy. Beginning this very moment, I'm a happy person. For I now truly understand the concept of happiness. Few others before me have been able to grasp the truth of the physical law that enables one to live happily every day. I know now that happiness is not an emotional phantom floating in and out of my life. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is the end result of certain thoughts and activities which actually bring about a chemical reaction in my body. This reaction results in a euphoria, which, while elusive to some, is totally under my control. Today, I choose to be happy. I will greet each day with laughter. Within moments of awakening, I will laugh for 7 seconds. Yeah. After even such a small period of time, excitement has begun to flow through my bloodstream. I feel different. I am different. I am enthusiastic about the day. I am alert to its possibilities. I am happy. Laughter is an outward expression of enthusiasm. And I know that enthusiasm is the fuel that moves the world. I laugh throughout the day. I laugh while I am alone. And I laugh in conversation with others. People are drawn to me because I have laughter in my heart. The world belongs to the enthusiastic, for people will follow them anywhere. Today, I will choose to be happy. I will smile at every person I meet. My smile has become my calling card. It is, after all, the most potent weapon I possess. My smile has the strength to forge bonds, break ice, and calm storms. I will use my smile constantly. Because of my smile, the people with whom I come in contact with on a daily basis will choose to further my causes and follow my leadership. I will always smile first. That particular display of a good attitude will tell others what I expect in return. My smile is a key to my emotional makeup. A wise man once said, "I do not sing because I am happy. I am happy because I sing." When I choose to smile, I become the master of my emotions. Discouragement, despair, frustration, and fear will always wither when confronted with my smile. The power of who I am is displayed when I smile. So today, I will choose to be happy. I am the possessor of a grateful spirit. In the past, I have found discouragement in particular situations until I compared the conditions of my life to others less fortunate. Just as a fresh breeze cleans smoke from the air, so does a grateful spirit remove the cloud of despair. It is impossible for the seeds of depression to take root in a thankful heart. My God has bestowed upon me many gifts, and for these I will remember to be grateful. Too many times I have offered up the prayers of a beggar, always asking for more and forgetting my thanks. I do not wish to be seen as a greedy child, unappreciative and disrespectful. I am grateful for sight, sound, and breath. If ever in my life there is a pouring out of blessings beyond that, then I will be grateful for the miracles of abundance. I will greet each day with laughter. I will smile at every person I meet. I am the possessor of a grateful spirit. Yeah! Today, I will choose to be happy.
And today I will choose to be happy. I'm Andy Andrews, the professional noticer, harnessing common sense and wisdom to plow through challenges all the way to an answer for you. And I think that'll do it for this week. Get us out of here, Matthew. So, ladies and gentlemen, and to the boys and girls who aspire to become ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of another episode of The Professional Noticer. In a world where common sense has become a superpower, I'm harnessing that tiny bit of mental energy I have for you, seeking wisdom, making observations, and endeavoring to answer tough questions in a way that will empower your family and your business. I'm Andy Andrews. Until next week, goodbye. This episode of The Professional Noticer was produced by Matt Limpert. The Noticer theme written and performed by Sugarcane Jane. A better mousetrap for the cast and crew provided by Twinkle and Smoke of Beverly Hills. Additional funding provided by NotSoCleanX.com. Has the economy got you down? Are you looking for ways to save money through these trying times? One way to save is by ordering your paper goods from NotSoCleanX.com. Facial tissues, paper plates, toilet paper, napkins, and paper towels are now available from NotSoCleanX.com at literally half the price of the first run items. Why so cheap? Everything available from NotSoCleanX.com has been recycled. We get the price even lower by pledging to never go to the expense of separating categories. Previously used facial tissues, paper plates, toilet paper, napkins, and paper towels all go into one bin for recycling, and each of our 5 different items are produced in uniform size in a beautiful dark beige color. So stock up now for the holidays at NotSoCleanX.com, and for each order of $100 or more, you'll receive our free seasonal CD, The Not So Great Songs of Christmas.